everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly and today we are going to try some new products from Revlon. I have the Candid foundation and concealer as well as the loose setting powder. I also have the Revlon Colorstay Prep and Protect primer and I have that on my face right now. If you are really excited and curious to see how these products wear on aging skin over 35, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and let's get into the makeup. Before we put all of this on my face, let's go on Revlon's website and read about the products a little bit, see what the claims are. The primer I picked up is the Revlon Colorstay Prep and Protect Primer Base. Okay, the website describes the primer as having broad spectrum SPF 34 that delivers a smooth, long-lasting base for foundation and concealer. The formula wears up to 24 hours. The built-in moisturizer keeps skin soft while the formula minimizes shine and you don't get a white ashy cast. Seriously. Okay. Well, I like the moisturizer part. I won't be wearing makeup for 24 hours and I do have my own SPF on. I don't rely on my cosmetics. Alright, for the foundation, I do have the Candid in shade 120. The website says that the skin-enhancing, natural-looking foundation delivers a flawless finish all day long as it hydrates. You get medium coverage that feels weightless and looks like your best skin. Feels good with anti-pollution, antioxidant, and anti-blue light ingredients to protect your skin. Feels better without oils, parabens, phthalates, synthetic dyes, and harsh fragrances. It is available in 31 makeup shades. The Candid concealer I have in the shade 10. The website describes this concealer with medium coverage that camouflages dark circles and puff with a jolt of caffeine to help wake up tired skin. It's also excellent at disguising blemishes and other things you'd rather not see. Feels good with a formula that includes a protective antioxidant along with anti-pollution and anti-blue light ingredients. Feels better without oils, parabens, phthalates, synthetic dyes, or harsh fragrances, making it ideal for delicate under-eye skin and a great concealer for sensitive skin. Flexible doe foot for precision application and is available in 18 shades. I also picked up the Revlon Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder. I have the shade 1, which is translucent. The website describes it as our lightweight, ultra-fine, loose setting powder evens out your skin tone and sets makeup while it protects. Feels good without antioxidants and anti-pollution ingredients to help fight aging. Feels better without parabens, phthalates, synthetic dyes, and harsh fragrances. Won't turn chalky or white on you. Built-in sifter minimizes mess. Available in 3 shades. The powder is still translucent with a hint of tint. I still got just translucent. So that's what the claims are on the products we're going to try out today. The primer has me a little confused. It's supposed to keep you matte, but it's supposed to keep you hydrated. Okay. My face is washed and moisturized with my normal everyday skincare that I have been using. First, we're going to go in with the primer. Is this squeezy tube? It is quite runny. So that was just a little dollop. You really don't have to squeeze this at all. So it didn't say anything about pore minimizing. It's just not supposed to be ashy on you. And it's supposed to be hydrating. It does feel like there's a silicone in it that is going to fill my pores. It smells like paint. Yep, it smells like paint. Alright. So this said it's supposed to help concealer, so we're going to hit the under eye with it as well. And the eyelid, because my eyelids are wrinkly. It feels pretty moisturizing, not super moisturizing, not as much as the Maybelline Hydrate and Smooth, and not as much as the NYX Hydra Touch. That one's almost like an essence, but It does feel moisturizing. It doesn't feel dry. It is somewhat tacky, and it does look like it blurred right here, my bigger pores. So it doesn't say that it's supposed to, but it definitely does seem to be softer right in that area. Okay, the concealer I have is the shade 120. Ulta did have testers out, so I was able to test this to make sure it does match my skin tone. It has a nice pump on it, which I do like. Okay. There's one pump, and it's not moussey, but it doesn't seem super liquidy. Okay, I'm going to start with 2 pumps. I will do half the face with a brush and then the other half with a sponge to see how well this works. I'm super excited about this foundation. I've had my eye on it for quite some time. And I am just going to use my Dome foundation brush. It's kind of my go-to. It said medium coverage. It seems to be blending in really quick. So it's not so drying that you don't have time to work with it. So that's really nice. It doesn't seem to be clinging down here either, which is very, very cool. I do have some dryness on my chin. Definitely medium coverage. You can see that this half has the foundation on and this half doesn't. It covered really well. You can still see a little bit of my skin coming through, but that's okay. I am going to try to build this up just a little bit, just to see if it is buildable. Those are really the only spots that really bug me, so we'll see if we can erase those a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh wow. That just took those almost all the way away. This is very high medium on my forehead now. Okay, I like it. I like it so far on this side. All right, let's go in with the sponge on this side. Really, really am enjoying this. Was almost nervous to try this because I have a feeling I was going to really like it. Lightweight, moisturizing, medium coverage. It's kind of my favorite thing. And this is just my L'Oreal sponge. And it is a lighter coverage. I can tell already right off the bat on my forehead. So if you wanted to sheer it out to a lighter coverage and you didn't want as heavy of a coverage, you can do that. So it is workable to your want and need for the day. I'm not sure I would call this medium coverage. I mean, even just on my nose is quite splotchy on the side. My chin, yes, I have issues on my chin, but I would say maybe high light coverage. I mean, yeah, I would say high light coverage on this. This was a solid medium coverage, and there's no streaks from the brush. So it does blend really, really well with the brush side, and I mean, almost everything works well with the sponge, but I do feel like it sheared out quite a bit. I mean, you can see all the different colors in my cheeks, the red spots, the brown spots, you can see them all. And the redness on the chin is still pretty red compared to this side with the brush. I will try to build it up with the sponge. So I'm going in with probably another half pump, just so we can get this even on my face. See if that helps. Okay, it is building with a sponge. A little bit. I mean, it is buildable. I would say it's probably low medium on my cheeks and my forehead now. There's still more coverage on the brush side as far as on the redness on my chin. It did cover my cheeks closer to the same coverage. I have just a little bit here. I'm going to try to build up my forehead and my chin. I think 2 layers with the sponge gave me the same as 1 layer on the brush side. So you're using less product if you're just using the brush. I mean, it's your choice as far as method of application, but I think I like the brush side better. It looks okay. I mean, my nose, it usually always creases there, but there's no brush marks, so that's really, I really like it when a foundation works really, really well with a brush. I like a brush. I don't have to remember to get my beauty blender dampened. Okay, let's get into the concealer. I have mine in the shade 10 Vanilla. I also tested this. This should be a match. I tried to go over by the window so I could see it in natural daylight and not the lights that they have. This is supposed to have a nice doe foot applicator. Oh wow, it's kind of like a boot. That's really different. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do a little bit just to see how much it really is gonna, and I'm just gonna use my fingers. Oh wow, it feels really, really good. It feels hydrating. And it is blending beautifully with the finger. I will try the sponge on the other side. I've really been using my finger for every concealer. Okay, just those 3 dots almost did my whole eye. I am going to try and cover the darkness over here. Oops, that might have been too much, but... The shade, I think, is perfect. It's slightly lighter than my skin tone, which I like. I prefer maybe a half shade lighter. I don't do the full 2 shades lighter. I like it to more blend into the rest of my makeup. Okay. I really, really like that. It doesn't seem to be creasing on my eyelid as of yet, anyways. It is creasing under my eyes, though. But that's normal. Alright, let's get this on the other eye. The applicator's different. It doesn't seem to be coming out too much. And I am just going to pinch this to see which side is better. And the sponge did soak up some of it, quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to go back in a little bit more because this, you can still see the bag quite a bit. I mean, I have allergies, but I do like to try and cover the darkness, which with the sponge I didn't feel like it did at all. I definitely feel like I got better coverage with just using my finger on the other side. Okay, and there's full face with the cream products on. I'm really, really happy. So far, it is creasing. I'm not sure if that'll come up. It is creasing just a little bit down here, but it's not terrible at all. Just really easy tapping it out. The foundation almost feels like it's completely set down. Like, I feel like I could really go over with powder products, but I do have the powder, so we are going to try the powder out. It does feel very, very fine. I am going to try to set my under eye with this powder. Usually I don't like a loose powder, but we'll try it. I am going to go in with this flat brush. It's actually a small contour brush is what it's called, but I use it for my under eye. Make sure there's no wrinkles. Make sure there's nothing that's settled in those lines. And I'm just going to lightly set under my eye. Make sure there's nothing settled on top. And just the lightest tap in and set the top lid too. It does seem like it smoothed out my top lid quite a bit. And same thing on this side. I'm ever so slightly tapping in. And when I say slightly, I mean very, very slightly tapping in. The concealer almost does feel like it's dried down, where you might not have to set this if you have drier skin like I do. We really might be able to get away with not setting this at all. Right off the bat, I will say that I do not feel any tightening that I usually do feel when I set my under eye. Usually I can tell right away, like, no, absolutely not. There's no tightening, so hopefully it's not drying at all. I am going to go in with a big dome powder brush. Very lightly dipping in here, just because I do have dry skin and it doesn't feel like it needs much setting at all. And it is translucent. It does not seem to be picking up anything as far as the foundation. It does seem to be leaving it alone, which is nice. I've had some that just, they don't like each other and they lift right up. I do just kind of pat it in and then I swirl, just to make sure it's all covered. I do feel like it's blurring a little bit. So that's nice. It does seem to be grabbing on my chin here. a little bit. Just on the side that we use the sponge, it seems to be separating or clinging to my dryness just on this half of my chin. So that's the only difference I'm seeing right now. I mean, the powder didn't move or anything. It doesn't seem to be settling in these lines at all. The nose looks fine after we had patted it out. It's just the chin. Just the side with the sponge doesn't seem like it's sitting well with texture or redness. So it doesn't look the greatest right there. But I'm going to finish the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back with full face on. I was in the middle of doing my makeup and I had a very hungry little boy come down and say that he was hungry. So we had a lunch date real quick. It's been a while because he's now sleeping. The current time is 1:23. It was about 11:30 when I went upstairs, so we'll call check-in time about 11:30. I will say it's wearing really, really well. I do have one problem, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm going to zoom you in so we can see just what I'm talking about. Okay, and I have you very, very close. So hopefully when I placed my blush, it pretty much took off all of the foundation. Just on the side that had the sponge, and also it's really creasy and separating. I think it's because I had to use 2 layers because it definitely is not creasing. It looks beautiful on this side, but all of the foundation is still there on this side with the brush application, and this side just right here, it really just kind of came off. I used the same brush and the same blush, so it just washed right away, and it's just not looking the greatest where I had to do 2 layers of concealer. I will try to do a check-in upstairs. If not, I will run downstairs about 4 o'clock, 4:30, just before we have dinner, and I'll give you a halfway update about that time, and then I probably will wear it longer than 8 hours. I have a lot to do today, so I will be up for a while, but we will get at least 8 hours out of this foundation, and I will see you in a couple minutes. It is the end of the night, and I am ready to kind of unwind and take this off and close out my day. It is currently 10:52, so it's been on for pushing 12 hours. It's still very comfortable. I did not do a check-in. I had mandatory snuggles with my son. I don't think he's feeling very well, so I did no check-ins. I didn't check on it. Just when I sat down here, I did kind of look over my face, and so I can make my mental notes. So I'm going to zoom you in so we can talk about how this did on my face today. Okay, I have you zoomed in. You can see it did not fare very well on my chin, though I feel like this side is still pretty okay. It did wear off. I may have bumped it, touched it. It is what it is. I'm a face toucher, but this side is completely worn off. That I had trouble with coverage. Anyways, this was the sponge side. It never sunk into my fine lines. Well, they're not fine. My deep smile lines here. So it didn't move anything there. The sides of my nose, they look really, really good. So, it was runny, so whether I won't knock it for just right here because I had to use a tissue, but it never settled into the pores right here. I do like the combination. My forehead looks really, really good too. Nothing settled in the lines up there. So for the foundation, I really, really like it. I do prefer the brush much more than I prefer the sponge side. For the concealer, this side was the side I only did the 1 layer and I used my finger. This side I used 2 layers, one with a sponge, one with my fingers. This one has almost rubbed off. I didn't rub my eyes, I know that much, but it's starting to break up and disappear here quite a bit. And this side, it's not sinking into the fine lines, it's not creasing, it's not anything, but this side it is right here a little bit, and then right on the inner corner there, really starting to separate. So the concealer, I like the fingers the best. Okay, my final thoughts on these products. The primer, I'm definitely curious about trying out. Again, it worked really well with this foundation. I'd like to try it with some of my other foundations. It did keep all of my face hydrated, at least as much as I'm gonna get this time of year. So I don't have any of the dry patches peeking through on my hairline. This is all very, very good still. My eyes look really good. Underneath my eyes look really good. My chin, special circumstances, it's a problem area. The foundation, I like this foundation. I might go as far as say that I love this foundation. I do want to try it with a couple different primers in different ways just to see. Maybe I don't have to actually set this one. I like the way it wore. In this very, very dry weather, I don't think we got out of the teens today. It didn't really separate. Yes, my nose did run. It happens. But it wore very, very well on my very dry skin in this very dry weather. The concealer, I like this concealer. I have been kind of hitting a home run with concealers lately. First impressions, usually concealers are like, it's okay, I have to work with it. This one, use your fingers and you're good. That's it. We're good. And I want to try it without setting it as well, but this setting powder, I have very dry skin. I live in a very dry climate. This still is good. And I usually typically will go for a pressed powder over a loose powder because the loose is too much a lot of times. This is not too much. It's not too much under my eyes, which is dry and aged. I love it. Love it. I love it. This Candid line, I want to say, is a big thumbs up, especially if you have fine lines and dry skin. For myself, it works fine. If you have oily skin, let everyone know how it wears down in the comments, because that I cannot give you any feedback on because I don't usually get oily at all, ever, even in the summer. I have dry skin. But if you are over 35, you're starting to show those age signs, you know, you get the little crinkles, the little wrinkles, try this line because it's amazing. Hands down, I will keep using this. The concealer is amazing. The primer, the foundation's amazing. And I love this powder. I don't like powder. I really, really like this powder. I will keep testing all of it out for the next month or so, and I will give a full review on all of my thoughts and if I still reached for it, if I still think it's good, once I try it with a bunch of different things. And that video will be up mid next month, so mid-April. You'll get a sense as to how I really feel about it, but first impressions, I really, really love all 4 of these products. If you're not already following me on my other socials, head on over to Instagram at GlamWithKelly and Twitter, Glam_Kelly, to keep up with, see if I'm still using these products. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. I do uploads Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!